hate that it cuts off the air. This is where a tide thing should be. Like up here.
No, it's fine, Mom.
I'm afraid it's going to break off.
No, it's okay.
It's such a weak little limb.
Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Wednesday, June 6th, 2018. So I'm going to go over a couple things real quick and then I'm going to jump into the video. So somebody was asking me about the rebar. My neighbor Greg had given me a whole bunch. He's got a whole bunch still. But he had given me a bunch of this rebar to use. And that's where I got the rebar. So actually the rebar didn't cost me anything. He had a whole bunch of it. He said help yourself. And so we've been using that rebar in and around the garden and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. And obviously to secure the fruit trees. So let me go over here real quick first and I'll show you what we were working on today. So that fencing that my cousin had given me, we started it here and got a good ways around the backside here. And then Jeff had brought a roll, and you can actually see the difference because you'll see it's a little bit higher over there on the end. And that piece that he had brought came around here. So Jeff, thank you again for that because that helped secure the rest of that part of the garden. And I had a piece left as well. So what I did first of all, I cut this here. So this is zip tied onto this one. And then we just have that leaning against there and with a stone. And that's our way to get into the garden. So then what we did is this extra 10-foot piece that we still had left, because I had used 90 feet of that 100-foot roll. We put that down through the center here. So these plants, we're going to train them so they climb right up and go that way. And then what we also did is with this extra piece of the piece that I had, we ran it this way all the way through here and tied it in with the rebar over here. So you can see we used a lot of rebar to help for supports and stuff like this. But these are going to give this opportunity for like these plants all through here. They can go either way. They can come up the fence this way or they can go up the fence that way. And these ones on the other side, there's the ones there. We're going to try to train them to go this way because in the center here is the potatoes. So we don't want them to go that way. We want them to come this way and climb the fence there. And then we have, these are the two zucchini. So this one can go whatever way it wants to go. And like I said, these guys here, all in this area, they can go either way. It doesn't make any difference. So that's kind of how we set it up that way. Yeah, so we used the roll that my cousin had given me. We started at that far corner over there and came all the way around to this point here. So we used, it was quite a big amount of the garden. And then the piece that Jeff had brought, we took that over to the edge. And like I said, then the other pieces that we had, and I had that 10-foot piece for the center. So hopefully we can get all these wandering plants to trellis up. And that would be freaking absolutely awesome because we got, like I said, we have cantaloupe, we have squash, we have the zucchini, we have cucumbers. So all those there are all wandering plants. We want them to all climb, and that's hopefully what they're going to do. What we also were doing was putting stone, and we're going to get more. We started with what we were doing here, putting stone along the edge to secure the bottom. So there will be more stone that goes in here, along here. But this front edge is now pretty secure with stone, that whole front edge. So what I opened that up a little bit so that I can actually bring the lawnmower in and hit that part right here. Okay, so that was our chore of the day. Today, as you can see, I'm going to kick it up here so you can see, very overcast. We had rain quite a bit this morning. It rained for quite a while, so it wasn't supposed to rain, but it did anyway. But that's okay. So we got a lot of rain today, so that was good. So then when we got going, we probably started around noon in getting all this squared away. Got all that done, so that's all squared away now. And now we're in the process of picking up more stone, which we're never out of stone on the property. And that'll go around the whole garden to secure it better. Okay, so let's talk about the topic of today's video. How are the volcanoes that are going off around the world, how will they affect you? Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, so first of all, actually I want to bring up something. The death toll for the volcano in Guatemala, which by the way they said everything was fine and normal, and they didn't warn the people ahead of time, so the people had no warning until it was too late. There are 75 confirmed dead at this point, and 190 people missing, which are presumed dead. Okay, it's quite a few people for them not letting these people know that there was a possibility that this volcano could go off. And it did, unfortunately, and so my heart goes out to those families down there with the loss of life. But that volcano alone went up 15,000 feet in the air with the first explosion. Now there's been a second explosion since then. I'm not sure how high that one went off, but the first explosion from that volcano put ash 15,000 feet in the air. So I'm gonna give you kind of an idea. Back in the day, I used to jump out of airplanes for fun. And you jumped out at 2,800 feet. And I'm going to tell you what, when you're in an airplane and you're standing out there and you're looking and you're 2,800 feet in the air with static line jump, so you're hooked into the plane, and as soon as you jump, your chute starts to deploy. But when you're 2,800 feet up in the air and you're looking down at Earth, it is a long way down, okay? It really, truly is a long way down. So think about 15,000 feet. This stuff is going up into the atmosphere. All this volcanic ash and everything else out of the volcano is going up 15,000 feet into the air. How does that affect us? Well, it's not going to affect me because I don't live in Guatemala. Actually, it can. It can affect the weather. All these different volcanoes with the increased activity, the volcano in Hawaii, that's putting stuff up there too. Now, there's a lot of lava flow with that as well, but that still put ash and stuff when it initially went up into the upper atmosphere, okay? That can affect our weather, folks. It starts to block the sun, and we're having a lot more of that happening because of the fact of these volcanoes going off. It will affect the weather. If you go back and you look at the different events through history and how much it brought the temperature of the planet down, and those are like one of these, and it was more of a major volcano, that affected that. You know, if you look back recent history, we had Mount St. Helens went off in 1980, okay? And that put a whole bunch of stuff, and it was such a minor explosion, but even that affected the weather, okay? And not even talking about all the ash that is dumping down on these different towns and stuff like that. So, I mean, it affects those people generally more there, but that's going to affect the weather as well because it's putting more stuff into the upper atmosphere, which is going to affect us. So all these volcanoes that are going off are definitely going to affect us. Look at the Iceland volcano that went off here a while back, and I can't remember exactly when it went off, but I remember seeing in the news how it affected air travel, and people were not able to fly because you can't fly your airplane through the ash cloud because it will clog up the engines and kill the engines. So that's, there's another way it obviously will affect us. So there's a lot of different ways that these things are happening. We're seeing a lot more activity with these volcanoes. So there's obviously something going on. And hopefully we don't have a whole lot more of these going off, because otherwise it will definitely be affecting our weather. Today, right now, in the town, it's saying it's 61. It's always 6 to 8 degrees colder up here. So I would say it's maybe 55 degrees up here right now. Where we are, because of our elevation is that much higher. So it definitely affects us. So we're always colder than town, between 6 and 8 degrees. So that's, it was kind of chilly today. I mean, I got a sweatshirt on. I mean, it's June 6th and I'm wearing a sweatshirt, so, and I've been working, so it's not like, but it's, it is what it is. But, today we pulled in 2.7 kilowatt hours so far today. Not going to get a whole lot of power today. We didn't get a whole lot of power, like I said, yesterday. We didn't do bad yesterday. I think actually we ended up over 4 with yesterday, but the sun was in and out yesterday, where like you can see with today, I'm going to kick this pandas back up here so you guys can see, there's not going to be sunshine today. It's been overcast all day. It actually looks like it may rain again. The only good thing is there's no wind today, so that's helpful. Mom has been staying here, and that's the banging you hear in the background is actually her picking up more stone. And when I'm done making this video, I'm going to go and continue to help her with that so we can add more stone around the garden. But it's interesting that with the weather, watching the weather, how that's going to do. That's why it's going to be so important that this year we get a greenhouse in this year. I want to be able to grow from seed. Start my plants really, really early next year and get things going in the greenhouse nice and early, so that we can have everything squared away. So if we decide to transplant and have some outside and an outside garden, like I said, this whole area here where the garden is, I would like to turn this whole thing, this whole area, into a big greenhouse area. And this would be a perfect spot for this to happen, okay? The garden is actually growing fantastic. We've had no issues. And actually, I don't know if I can show you so that you can see. You could probably see right through here. Some of the onions that I planted, the small little dinky onions, they're coming up now through in that area right through here, okay? So, you know, it's coming together. And like I said, you got to have the rain to help everything grow. We haven't had to water now for like 3 days in a row, so that's a good thing too. But we got the water there. The water storage tank is full because the back side is still hooked up to the rain catchment. And so my storage tank for water is at 550 gallons, and that is completely full right now. And we use that for watering the garden when we have to. So we're not going to run out of water anytime soon. And that, like I said, that's just an extra way of having extra water, and that's why we do it that way. So anyhow, that's what's happening. That's what we're working on today. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. How do you think that these different volcanoes, the one that just happened in Guatemala, the one that's, you know, going on actively right now in Hawaii, and the different things around the country and around the world that are just, it's getting much more active, and how do you think that that's going to affect us? I definitely want to get your feedback on that, guys. So please, you know, put your comments in. Please like, comment, and share the video with other people so that they can see that information too. I think a lot of people don't pay attention, and people really do need to pay attention to what is going around, because it may not always be in our country, but it will affect us indirectly at some point. Okay, so anyway, guys, listen, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're having a great week. Remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And remember, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you work at things methodically, they're going to get done, okay? I mean, my project that I wanted to get done today was getting this garden fenced in to keep the cats out, to keep other critters out and stuff like that. Now, will that keep out deer? No, okay? But hopefully they did. I know last year the fencing was about the same level, and the deer never went in the garden last year. So hopefully we won't have deer in there, but I know that the cats can't get in there anymore, which is great, and the puppies are not going to get in there, and any other critters are not going to be able to get in there. So that's what we're working on, and that's what we wanted to get done, and that's what we did today. So, in my opinion, very successful day. Always making forward progress. That's what it's all about, guys. Okay? Remember, everything that we're doing, guys, is prepping for life. You prep for life events, okay? You're not prepping for the ultimate gloom and doom. That's not what this is about. This is about prepping for normal life events that are going to affect you at some point, no matter what, okay? So anyway, listen, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.